What's going on, friends, friends, and family? It is the day after Valentine's Day here in the United States of Siege, and for better or for worse, things are a little quieter here on the Western Front. The good news is, of course, DHS's funding ceased as of midnight yesterday. However, that means that they're just dipping into the ICE slush fund. Pun not intended, but so on point. The ICE slush fund to continue funding their Gestapo-like tactics. And unfortunately, despite Metro Surge coming to an end, according to Tom the Homunculus Holman, it does not mean that ICE has actually stopped. In fact, ICE is trying to be slippery as shit and encroach on New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Indiana, New Mexico. I feel like I'm running into that fucking Animaniac song. Like, ICE is all over, y'all. We got to stay vigilant. We got to stay aware. We want to do what we can to safely protect our friends, our neighbors, just being good humans, right? That means finding ways to support mutual aid in Minnesota, which is still under siege. Like, we can't forget that just because the cameras have pulled back a bit, that Minneapolis is actually, and Minnesota is actually doing better, right? Like, they still need our support. They still need our eyes. On the front for survivors, of course, we still believe the survivors and stand united. And while the Epstein file fallout globally is significant, it's becoming increasingly clear how complicit the DOJ and the FBI have been in trying to cover everything up. And the web gets more and more intricately woven as more details come to light. I can say with, like I said, authority that things are moving forward as far as things. I don't even know the right way to say it. Just things are in works. And while I know it's easy to feel hopeless right now, don't give up hope. Because, again, just I've said it before, just because we don't see all the pieces at play right in front of our eyes doesn't mean that progress isn't being made. Now, on to, I guess, what I really wanted to talk about, which kind of comes back to mental health, because it's been a big topic on Threads lately, and kind of, let's be real, living in the dumpster fire, Trumpster fire, mental health is a precious commodity. So something happened this weekend that's completely unrelated to the batshittery that is the world, and that is something called the Barkley Marathons kicked off. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Barkley Marathons is considered to be one of the most grueling ultramarathons in the world. In fact, there's a great documentary that streams for free on YouTube right now called The Barkley Marathons, The Race That Eats Its Young. Yeah. Anyways, I say all this to say that it is intense. It requires training, preparation, all of this to get through it. It is somewhere between like 36 to 48 hours of like treacherous terrain, inclement weather, just bizarre and insanely taxing conditions. And it requires a lot to complete it. In fact, the marathon was so legendary and so just arduous that it was almost, I want to say, like 20 years before someone actually finished it. People got participation badges, but they didn't actually finish it. And when asked why they created something so just batshit dangerous and hard to do, the response was basically that we as people don't know what we're really capable of unless we test what we're really capable of. And what we get out of that is, it's I can do this much or I can do this much, but you never know what you're capable of until you're really pushed. So real facts, coming back to Minnesota, Minneapolis, and ultimately Prince, right? Like, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to celebrate this thing called life. And it's a mighty long time, right? Life is the longest, hardest thing that we do. And we don't always know that we're prepared for it, but we are equipped. And it requires preparation. It requires some training. It requires pulling through some of the days when we are cut, battered, and broken. And it requires a team, because even the people who compete in these Barkley Marathons, which is arguably a solo activity, do it with the support of the people around them. Even solo endeavors require a squad to get through. That's all I'm saying. So as we try to stand and maintain the fight, we're not in it alone. Rest, prepare, take care of yourselves. Don't be afraid to take help when you need it, even if you feel like you're supposed to do it by yourself. I promise you that's not the plan, because we have to stand together to rise the fuck